Jīva-brahmaikyavide Namaha. Om Jīva-brahmaikyavide Namaha.
Om Jīva.
Om Jīva-brahmaikyavide Namaha. Om Jīva-brahmaikyavide Namaha. The purpose of Vedanta is not to give you a knowledge that you already can know with your senses, can feel with your mind, or conceptualize with the intellect. That knowledge the scriptures do not need to give us. The purpose of the scriptures is to point out to us that there is only one indivisible truth, as we've been seeing this constantly as the golden thread passing through the wisdom of a realized master. There's only one, but we see the differences because we have crystallized this ego, this personality. And philosophically, ego does not mean pride or arrogance. It means this sense of individuality. So who is the Jiva? You have to be very clear about who do we call as the Jiva. Who is you at this moment? What do you understand yourself to be? We consider ourselves to be this body. We are born and we are dying, and therefore we are conditioned in time. Birth and death, growth and change, health and ill health. We identify with our senses, then pleasure and pain. Identify with the mind, there's joy and sorrow. Identify with the intellect, there is good, bad, right, wrong. And we are constantly preoccupied with the dharma, with the qualities of our equipments. But without consciousness functioning through this body, and even the word functioning is grammatically for the consciousness is wrong. There's no doership. But when in the presence of consciousness, these equipments get active, we call it as life. So who is the Jiva? Without consciousness, there is no Jiva. There's no living being. One thing is, you're conscious or not? All of you are conscious or not? Right now at least, are you conscious or not? Okay, laughter shows that you are. Is that not common in all of us? Yet, we think ourselves only to be this body, but when consciousness, the witness, gets reflected in the pool of thoughts, and that pool of thoughts, according to its vasanas, its temperament, then takes up a body, becomes this living being, the Jiva. Who is Brahman? Brahman is being pointed by the scriptures as the infinite, which exists and therefore is unconditioned by time, eternal, is of the nature of consciousness, because even for this world to create, without consciousness, there can be no creation, because who's there to experience creation? So consciousness and infinite, and therefore bliss. Now, at this moment, our understanding of the Jiva is one who is born, one who dies, one who is limited, one who is separate from others, and in short, one who is incomplete, wanting, and miserable. Yeah? This is called as Jiva. And Brahman is Ananda. Where is the comparison? Jiva is finite, Brahman is infinite. Where is the comparison? But when you inquire into the nature of the Jiva, body is constantly changing. Mind is constantly changing. Intellect sometimes remains changeless, confused. But that also changes. What is that which is changeless in the Jiva? That is the essence of the Jiva. And what is your direct experience now itself? First of all, you exist or you don't exist? You exist, right? So, you exist, Sat. You're conscious or you're unconscious? Conscious. So, Sat and Chit, you are. Is there any difficulty in finding that out? And what is Brahman? Sat and Chit. No, he's big Sat and Chit and I'm small Sat and Chit. In existence, is there any division? In consciousness, can you show any division? The purpose of the scripture is to point out that this existence consciousness, which is the essence of the Jiva, is the infinite Brahman. To recognize your infinite nature is the only means to attain eternal peace, bliss, and satisfaction. And that is what in those many, many words of the scriptures, what is being finally indicated is that the seer of the world, be very careful, I'll explain these, but remember these statements. The seer of the world, the witness of the world, the consciousness is the very substratum, the cause, the existence behind the world. Are you ready for a journey through the cosmos? Ready? So, fasten your seatbelts. Sit straight. Yeah. Straighten your chair. No? Oh, I forgot. We were in the flight anyway, right? So make your seat upright. Fasten your seat belt. What is your experience right now? Where are you? In the multi-purpose hall of CIRS. This school. Are you not? So where are you? In this multi-purpose hall in the school. Where is this multi-purpose hall? In the school. And the school is in this large acreage of land. And this acreage of land, where is it? In the city of Coimbatore. And if you see Coimbatore, it is one city in the state of Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu is one of the states of Bharat, India. And India is one tiny little pedant in Asia. Asia is one of the continents on the earth. And we are, even in the earth, present. If you see the map of that, that's why with Google Maps it's very interesting. When you take the map of the world, you will not see Coimbatore at all. India is so small. Then you zoom into India, then the states appear. Then you go to the state and then you expand. Your screen cannot hold it. So suddenly it's Chennai, Madurai. But where is Coimbatore? So then you move it. And then you come somewhere near the border of Kerala. And then you see, Coimbatore. Now in Coimbatore, then you expand the Google map. And then you find Survani. In the whole earth, where does this MPH stand? And in this MPH with hundreds of you, where do you sit? Okay. This whole huge earth in which at this moment you are a speck. Your city that you are sitting in is a speck. And you are a speck of a speck in that. And this whole earth is just one tiny little, not even table tennis ball, a marble. You know what's marble, right? When we were children, we used to play those games. Nowadays, it's all... We exercised other fingers also, It's just one marble in the whole solar system. The sun, which is so many millions of miles in diameter, I'm just saying it figuratively. If somebody is being very specific, no, Swamiji, not million. In the galaxy called Milky Way, it's one of those teeny mini stars that you see. And your whole galaxy, the Milky Way, in the universe, many of the stars that you sometimes see are galaxies, not one sun, not one. And there are millions of light years apart, they are in space. Yeah? Now this little speck of a speck of a speck in a speck of a speck in a speck, as Gurudev would say, you are not even a pimple in a dimple on the left cheek of an ant. And this huge space, where does it exist? Whose boundaries you don't see. But even the scientists are now beginning to wonder that the space seems to be expanding. Space is not constant. Space to be expanding. And the question is, expanding in what? Everything we see in space, but space is expanding in what? Our rishis discovered. And this whole universe, what is the time span you can't even imagine. That time and space, where does it exist? You are a speck in CRS, which is a speck in Coimbatore, and Coimbatore is a speck in another speck called Tamil Nadu, another speck India, another speck. So you're a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck of a speck. But where does space exist? When you are asleep, where is space? Space is a concept of your mind. So where does space exist? Where? In your mind. And where does your mind exist? Where does your mind exist? In you, or at the moment I know it might be in someone else, but so just now you said that you are a speck here, but the whole universe exists in you, is it not? When you think about it. Without consciousness, there is no experience of anything, and therefore everything exists in consciousness, and I am consciousness. Without me being conscious, there is no experience of the world. You say, but somebody else is experiencing. From where? If that person is also not conscious, then what will they experience? To point out that this seer of the world, who now thinks himself to be this individual in the world, is the one in whom the whole world exists. Swamiji, I'm totally confused. I know what's going to happen in the dining hall. I'm not going to be able to eat the next morsel. How is it possible? I am a speck in a speck in a speck, and the whole speck of the universe is in me. That's what. The whole universe is like that only. Is the chicken in the egg or the egg in the chicken? No, I'm even confused. Is egg and chicken, though? You added to my confusion. You want a direct experience? You want it? Every night, when you dream about her, and the horror when you have to go and face her parents, yeah, and then you find out that not only her parents are going to be, her uncle, auntie are all coming there to scrutinize you. And you have to fly all the way, and don't make a mistake, I'm telling you, I'm warning you. If all the way from London you have to go to New Zealand, yeah, that whole distance that you travel, yeah, and as you fly over Australia and you think of dropping in and saying hi to your Australian friends, and they tell you to attend a CHYK camp, and you really go thinking that it's going to be like CRS, and they put you on bunker beds with bathrooms outside. And your New Zealand friends have warned you that Australia is a land of spiders. And you see one spider, you scream. and you scream, and you wake up in your bed, never reaching New Zealand. That whole universe, where did it exist? From where came the spider? Where came the 2B outlaws? Where did your friends come? Where did the aircraft come? And which space did you travel? In the dream, you thought that you are a creature in the dream. But when you wake up, what happens? That whole huge, vast dream, the long distance that you covered from London to New Zealand, and the expenses that you went through, when you wake up, all of them, they existed where? In you. So who was the substratum, the material cause of the dream? The entire dream, that Brahman you are. That is to be realized. So, Jīva-brahmaikyavide Namaha. One who has recognized this identity between the seer, the consciousness, and the cause of the universe, the infinite substratum. He alone is my Guru, who reveals to me that I, the consciousness, is the cause of the world. Guruji used to say, if in the train you find anybody, or in the dining table, anybody comes up and tells you, tell me in short, what is Vedanta? Yeah. He said that Gurudev had told him, to Guruji, that when you get such quick, you always answer them. Give them the profoundest of truth. Tell them the seer of the world is the substratum of the world. इस जगत का जो दृष्टा है वही इसका अधिष्ठान है. Simple thing is that the world appears in consciousness. And you recognize yourself to be that consciousness and wake up to your consciousness. You experience the world as long as your mind is functioning. Mind shuts down, there is no world. Silence your mind, and the world dissolves. You, the dissolver of the world, is Shiva. Shivoham, Shivoham.